Hello guys, and today, yes, it is carbohydrates. So you see me again, same setting, and the same hoodie actually, I believe, from last week. So we talk about the importance of carbohydrates. We'll talk about what happens if you have too little, what happens if you have too much, and also I'm going to throw in a little tip as well at the end. So I've got myself a nice cup of coffee here. I'm going to, as always, well, yeah, I always drink a lot of coffee, but as always I've got the notes here, which I've gathered through experience of doing courses, experience through through how I eat my diet, and also other things I picked up here and there. So I want to put it all together. So if for whatever reason I want to watch it, say one day, or whatever reason it may be that I just think to myself, well, I'm going to check it again. I know it's the right stuff. I know everything there is how it should be. So I can look back and be thinking, wow, I actually did that, I actually said that. So right, before anything else happens, I'm gonna have a quick little sip of this coffee and then we'll get into it. Right, so carbohydrates are the best form of energy, and the energy comes from there's supposed to be three forms of energy, and obviously there's your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. But not all the fuels are stored in your body. So protein isn't stored in the body, for example. But it's been scientifically proven that carbohydrates are the best for this. So they help your muscles, help your organs, carbohydrates, and mostly they help to release a lot more energy, because there's two different types of carbohydrates. There's your simple carbohydrates, which is your fizzy pop, your cookies, all sorts of really sugary things. There's quite a lot of things, like your Monster drinks. I'm trying to think of other ones. There's all sorts of things like that. Mostly fizzy drinks, I would have said. I'll say cakes, like cupcakes. Anything you think of that's got a lot of sugar in. I think it's got quite a bit of sugar in. Usually tends to be a very simple just a simple carbohydrate, and this is because it only lasts for a short burst of time. So if you're doing, say, a sprint, if you're doing, say, 100 meters, which, yeah, obviously it's a sprint, but you know what I mean. So anything from, like, say, the 100 meters to, I would say, the 400 meters would probably be an ideal source for that, because it's very fast paced and it just goes straight away. Whereas a complex carbohydrate lasts for hours and hours, and it helps to fill your calorie intake up as well. So it's a very good one to have if, say, you're going to, I don't know, do a marathon. Because obviously it's going to stay there. Pardon me. And it's going to be released over time. So that's why it's very good, because it stops you being hungry all the time. Whereas you might find yourself being either hungry or thirsty all the time, but your body can't decipher which one it is. And I'll talk more about water in one of the next videos. I'm not quite sure when that'll be, because I've got protein, not proteins, I've got fats to do next. So I'll talk about fats, and then I'll go into water, and then obviously macronutrients and micronutrients. So anyway, not going off topic. So yeah, complex carbohydrates are the best to have, and there's all sorts of food there as well. Like pasta, your potatoes, stuff like that. So moving on to what happens if you have too little. So I'll just move down here, and if you have too little, a low carb intake is likely for you to lose weight, and you reduce your total calorie intake, because, like I said before, complex carbohydrates, or just carbohydrates in general, can take up quite a lot of calories, which is why they're good for people who want to maybe bulk up, because they fill your body. So also, since carbohydrates are meant to be the main source of energy from the body, if you have too low of it, you can't maintain a lot of things, and there's a lot of negative sides to it. So you need to consume your recommended daily allowance, which I'll be leaving a link in the description for MyFitnessPal, which I'll say it in every single nutritional video, because hey, I love that. Like I say, I've got it on my phone and my iPad. I'll leave it in the description. It's on the protein description as well. So every video you watch that's got this sort of content on is gonna have that on, and that'll help you get your goal in terms of nutrition. So anyway, let's get into it. So having too little carbohydrates can lead to things such as dizziness, weakness in your muscles, and just weakness in general. So that's like fatigue as well. Nutrient deficiencies, nausea, diarrhea, mental fatigue even. And it's even known to cause bad breath. Yeah. So take it how you want with that one, but if you don't eat enough of it, you're gonna have to have some Tic Tacs with you. So that's all the negative effects. It's also known long-term effects to be really bad with your kidneys as well. But I'm not 100% sure on that one, so obviously I can't say that's for sure, because like I say, I'm not going to give you guys I'm just going to give you guys crap. I'm going to give you guys the content that I know to be right, and the content that is factual as well from what I'm qualified to tell you. So not 100% on that one, but I can imagine it would cause some sort of imbalances, and a bit like the protein one as well. Like, if you have a bit too much or a bit too little, it might be a little bit too funny with your kidneys and other organs. But imagine, like I say, with organs, I imagine that would cause a lot of serious damage to your kidneys if you don't have enough. So I'll scroll down to what happens if you have too much. And in the absence of carbohydrates in your body, if you have too much carbohydrates, it will do what a lot of other macronutrients do. So people think, oh well, if I just eat fat, I'm going to turn fat. Yeah, fair enough. That if you eat loads of fat, you're going to be fat. That's a simple fact. That also applies for your protein and your carbohydrates. If you eat too much of it, your body goes into a survival mode, and when it's in a survival mode, that means that it's going to store as much as it can, so that everything turns to fat. Even sugar will turn to fat, because that's just what your body does. That's how it reacts to food when you have too much of it. So yeah, that's one of the things that's really not many people understand. Like, oh, if I stay away from this much fat, but they end up being fat either way. They end up either putting more weight on, or they end up gaining, and they don't want to. They want to lose, and thinking, oh, I'm not eating fat. How's that possible? How can I do that? How's that? What am I doing wrong? And that's why, because you're eating too much, say, sugar, you're eating too much protein, or you're eating too many carbohydrates, as well as the fat and even the calories too. So yeah, that's another reason why I went to MyFitnessPal, because I want everyone to be able to have an app like that. I mean, it's free. You can obviously go for a premium package. I don't know what that does, but I use the basic one, and it does me good. It gives me exactly what I want. I think it might be training based. It might have somebody who trains you with different things. I'm not 100% sure. That's something for you to try. However, let's crack on with the rest of too much. So it can also raise, if you have too much carbohydrates, it can raise your blood sugar level and your insulin levels as well. So if you consume more calories than you burn, you will gain weight. It's a simple fact. Just like I was explaining before, if you have too many carbohydrates, you're going to put weight on either way, because it's going to store as fat. And that's on top of, say, the fat you've already got, or the calories you've already got, and then obviously, the sugars and the salts you've already got. So yeah, that could be a lethal mix if you're going over everything. So you need to know what you're eating, and that's exactly why I'm making these videos for, because people need to know. Not many people do. Not many people know what a carbohydrate is. They think, oh, that's in pasta. Or they think, oh, what is a carbohydrate? Why is it important? What do I need it for? And this is why these videos come in. So also, here is the last piece of my video, because that's how I do these things, and it's a tip for you. So my tip for you is eat more complex carbohydrates in your diet. You should really balance it out with more carbohydrates in your diet. Starchy food even, that is even in the Eatwell plate as of now. That is definitely in the Eatwell plate, and I can also leave a link to that as well, the Eatwell plate. That's in the UK, the Eatwell plate, and there is also the food triangle. I think it's the food pyramid. Yeah, the food pyramid, which is American. So I'll leave a link to both of them, but I'm going off the British one, the UK one, because obviously I'm in the UK. If you want to go off the American one and you're in the UK, by all means go off it. but I'm giving you guys the the advice and the qualification knowledge I know to be right. I can't say, oh, this is what you need to eat here and there and everywhere. Just give you some advice on how to say maybe improve your diet a bit, how to balance it out a bit more. So yeah, so you eat more complex carbohydrates. So this is your pastas, this is your rice, this is your peas. It's also in whole beans and yes, baked potatoes, or just potatoes in general even. So, because complex carbohydrates, like I was saying before, they've got a lot more fibre in them. They digest a lot slower, so obviously you don't feel as hungry as often. This is not to sort of say, oh, you're going to be on a diet, because the food you eat in general is a diet anyway, and I eat a balanced diet, hence why hence why I can do what I do when I want. Can't talk today. Hence why I do what I want to do, because I'm doing kettlebells, I'm doing bodyweight circuit training, and I'm also doing, I'm going to be getting back into running. I'm doing gym work as well, and all them things combined. I'm even doing yoga as well. So all them things combined, I need to stay on top of my nutrition. I need to stay on top of not only the nutrition, I need to stay on top of the resting periods, the time, and also need to stay on top of obviously being able to do all that stuff. So yeah, it's very, very important to have your diet sort of based around starchy food. That will help you out a lot. It'll fill up a lot of calories that you didn't think you might be able to get, and it's not really very high in fat either. But obviously read the food labels as well, because may say it might not be high in fat, you might be picking something up that is. I'd rather you guys look at the traffic light system. Obviously green is good, and moderate is amber, and red is obviously very, very high in whatever it is that it's red for. So yeah, these things will help you essentially lose weight. This is not 100% guaranteed, because I am not you and you are not me. We're all different in terms of what we can eat nutritionally and how we do our diets and the type of lifestyle we have. So eat more complex carbohydrates will help you in the long run. That's as long as it's part of a balanced diet. So I'm not saying to you, oh, if you eat pasta and you go to McDonald's the day after, you're going to lose 10 pounds. No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. You balance your diet out properly and you will get the results you want, because obviously you need to go to the gym as well. You need to do some sort of exercise to help moderate things, but no, you can't get the results you want. 70% of it, I believe, is from nutrition, what you eat. What goes in here helps what comes on the outside, as well as your rest time as well. So yeah, that's my tip for you guys today, and that's my video all wrapped up for you. And I'll be doing this again next week, and hopefully hopefully it's not as cold. I actually saying that today, it's not as cold as it was last week. So I've got myself a nice cup of coffee as well, just in case it does get too cold. But I've enjoyed doing this video for you guys, and I don't want it to be too long, so I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it now. I'm going to do my outro, and then I'll see you guys next week. And next week is fats. So yeah, I'll see you guys for that video.